What's going on, guys and girls? Welcome back to another episode on the Falcon YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode, Trading Psychology series. We're talking about FOMO. This is one of the biggest things that holds traders back. They don't even know where it comes from, where it stems from. My aim in this video, in this overall psychological series, is to help you unwire those bad parts that is no longer serving you to succeed in trading. So FOMO, let's talk about it. Very rare people actually understand where it stems from and how to overcome it. Is it something you beat? Is it something you get rid of? Is it something you manage? Well, we're going to be talking about that in this episode. So FOMO, what does it stand for? Firstly, fear of missing out. Why do we feel that way? Comes from our childhood. It comes from every experience that is rammed down our throats, birthday parties, events, etc. The list could go on, and we just feel this fear of missing out. Now, what happens and why is that dangerous when we come into things like trading? Well, we always fear these opportunities. Now, you have to understand one thing. Every successful trader, or even every trader on the planet, will have at once felt FOMO or still feel it. That's nothing that you can avoid. You can't get rid of that. And the reason as to why it's bound to happen is because just think about it logically. When you're involved in trading, whether it be stocks, options, you name it, you're trading, Forex, crypto, there will be certain scenarios in which that you're looking at something, you want to buy something, you want to sell something, you want to invest in something, and it will just move without you, quote unquote, right? You'll feel like it's going without you and you'll take that personally. And then what happens is that plants a very, very dangerous seed of these emotions that you really felt like, I've missed the boat on that one. And then what happens is that seed manifests, it gets deeper and deeper. So then what happens? You're in your day-to-day, you're looking for an opportunity, you're learning how to trade, you have a system, you have a strategy, and then you see something move a little bit. Let's say you're looking at euro dollar for a buy, and you see it just moves away, and you didn't get your entry point from how you're trading. It didn't hit that fib, for example, or it didn't hit that area that you was looking to buy, or that pattern you was looking to trade. And then what happens? All day long, you're feeling all these kind of emotions as to, I've missed that one. And then what tends to happen? You deviate from your plan, you revenge trade, you do all these different psychological things that is keeping you going around in circles. Why? It's because you didn't fully accept the first stance. So you got involved in trading, you would have experienced FOMO because it happens to all of us, but you weren't self-aware enough or have the resources and the tools, which isn't your fault, but you didn't have those tools to be able to accept it and understand, right, why is this happening in the first place? So what I've done over the years is that I've figured this out the hard way. I've seen so many people overcome FOMO, and once they do, their trading just goes up, up, and up, and up. And until they don't, they're just going round in circles thinking that, if I have more information about the market, or if I learn a new strategy, then that will make me more successful. Or if I blend this together, that gives me more of an edge. No, it doesn't. Right? Your psychological barriers is what is holding you back, not your strategy. When you find a strategy that has an edge and it works, which there's many of them, many great ones, yes, you will resonate with different strategies. However, when you find a great strategy that works, that's tested over years of time, well, then it's all about your psychology. It's got nothing to do with strategy. And sometimes the most dangerous thing is that from FOMO of learning another strategy, you think, right, well, maybe I'm missing out on something. And then again, the same seed manifests, gets deeper, it gets bigger, and then it grows. And then you're constantly fearing all these opportunities. Now, think of it like this. What is being rammed down your throats right now? What are you seeing? The social media world is getting bigger and bigger. So whether that be Clubhouse, whether that be TikTok, whether that be Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, you name it, right? The list goes on and on, Snapchat. You're seeing it all day, every day, encouraging yourself to compare yourself with someone else. So no wonder you're feeling FOMO. No wonder you're feeling this. You're seeing it all day long. It's rammed down your throats. Now prop firms, you're seeing that people are dedicating YouTube channels just to review prop firms. So you're seeing things all day long. This person made a withdrawal. This person got funded with a 100K account and they made £11,000. This is their first withdrawal. So all day long, you're seeing this in your mind and it's encouraging you to have fear of missing out. You're thinking, why not me? Maybe I need to rush this, and it causes you to make bad decisions. It's pulling you away from your center point, which is actually going to give you a backbone to stick at something, build a good mentality. Why is that important? Well, when you start doing things like, whether it be system hopping or thinking that the more knowledge you have, the more successful you'll be. If knowledge was the most powerful thing, then librarians would be the richest. Let's be straight with that. It's not about knowledge. It's about the application of it. And sometimes, what's the long-term effects of having too much information? Well, you'll try to correlate every single thing that you know, and you'll be an intelligent trader, but you won't be a successful one. And that's what we see as well, where the ego is so involved in the market. So just understand one thing, FOMO, you can't get rid of it. But what you can do is you can learn how to manage it. You can learn where it stems from, why it's affecting you. And then there's going to be some homework that I give you that is going to help you slowly overcome that and manage it. But don't go into this world or into the trading space thinking that, right, I'm going to crack it, I'm going to eliminate it. This stems from the thought of everyone wants to control every situation. They think that they can get to this unrealistic expectation of controlling everything. That's like thinking you can control every area of your life. You can't. There's an art in releasing control. Control what you can control, but you can't control everything, right? So think of it like this, a musician, for example. If we understand at the root of it, it's the subconscious mind. It's the subconscious mind that we need to have in place, and we need to wire that in the right way, which is why we talk about things in Rewired, is the tools and strategies to manage that emotion. Think about someone learning to play the piano or the guitar. Does someone just pick up, and even someone who's skilled, who knows how to play the guitar, do they just pick up a guitar and just start playing a new piece of music, whether it be 30 seconds of a song? Do they do that? Or do they practice? And do they practice in the right way, which is important? Yes, they do. Now, can you calculate the exact amount of hours that someone needs to spend on playing a new piece of music and say, right, if you spend 7 hours, then you'll know it? No, you can't. You can't know exactly. Some people pick things up quicker than others. Some people take a little bit longer. Why? It's because this is blueprinting into your subconscious mind. And then what happens? You find someone, they just start playing that bit of music almost effortlessly. Why? It's because it's blueprinted. Subconsciously, you've learned how to play that. So you don't have to think. It's just like second nature. So we understand with great things, it takes time, and it takes doing the right thing with repetition. And then within time, you understand something, you have confidence, and you can execute on it flawlessly. Now you might be thinking, Mark, how does that really relate to trading? Well, firstly, I wanted to cement the point that the subconscious mind here is what is actually holding you back from succeeding. The FOMO, it runs deep, but how can we overcome that? What kind of trading mantras do you have? Do you have any at all, right? When you see the markets for the next time and then you feel that little bit of, oh, that one went a little bit without me, you feel like you're going to miss something, you need to have a mantra in place. Like one of mine is that there's always an abundance of opportunity. Not one trade is going to make or break me, or there's always another great trade. So you see these things, these may seem casual, yet they're so effective, because in the moment, in the heat of all of it, you might have something going on in your life, you might have going through a breakup or something like this, and then you see Bitcoin up 400%, how are you going to feel? Of course you're going to feel fear of missing out. You're going to make bad decisions. This is why you need to learn how to manage it. Managing your mind is far more important than trying to control everything. Control comes from a deeper insecurity. You want to control everything in your life, you need to release that. It's about managing the mindset. So then what you do, you understand, right, so if it's my subconscious mind that I need to have repetition in the right way, well, what could I possibly do that's going to help me become a successful trader, but also reduce that FOMO, manage that FOMO, where it comes from a lack of understanding. If you're not confident with something, then of course you're going to have FOMO. If you don't know how to explain something in depth, it's because you've just not done the work. So of course you'll have FOMO because you have a lack of understanding. Let me give you an example. Let's say your trading strategy, if we was to put it next to a timetable, let's say your trading strategy is like a train or a bus timetable. Imagine if you didn't know the timetable of when the buses come, and you just randomly thought, right, I need to go to a destination and I need to get on the bus, but I don't know when the bus is going to come. What's the chance you're going to get there too early or too late, or have this fear that you'll miss it because you either think that no buses will come or you think there might only be one or two. You'll get there early or too late, etc. This is a little bit like someone trading that hasn't fully done the work to understand their strategy. They don't know that, let's say in this run of a bull run or a bear run or whatever it is, an impulsive leg or a bearish leg, that there are typically 5 to 10 entries. If you don't know that with cement repetition, then you can rationalize the thought. I could tell you, say, right, when you're trading that type of way, there's normally about 10 entries. So look, John, Stuart, whoever it is, you know, you're fine, you're good. You don't need to worry, because within that period of time, you're going to have 5 or 10 trades. And even if it's not in your time zone, you'll probably catch 2 or 3 of them. Okay, I can kind of calm down. One trade starts to go without you, you start fearing that FOMO. Well, why do you feel the FOMO again? Well, it's like someone playing the guitar for the first time. You've literally just started to learn it. How can you expect the repetition to be in yet? You've just started to practice it. So of course you're not going to do it flawlessly. Of course it's not going to be cemented into the subconscious mind. You need to put the hours in. So what that is doing for you is that you've just not done the hours, because if you did, subconsciously, you would actually have cemented it enough to go in the moment when something feels like it's going to go without you, or you have a bit of that FOMO and you're thinking, oh, well, maybe I should deviate from my plan. You're going to go, hold on, no, I don't need to do that. Why? Because I remember I subconsciously have blueprinted that typically there's about 5 or 10 entries, and not one bad trade is going to make or break me. There's always going to be another trade. There's always an abundance of opportunity. So you see, that wiring there is key. The crazy thing is the subconscious mind is such a powerful thing. Think of it as your supercomputer. You want to be inputting the program that helps you succeed. Otherwise, you've got loads of viruses and bugs. And if you've got all those bugs like FOMO and you don't know how to manage it, what's the chances you're going to succeed? Doesn't matter how good of a strategy you have and all the technicals you learn, if you can't deal with FOMO and you can't deal with these psychological things, if you're still fearing missing out on a crypto, or you fear of missing out on an IPO or an ICO or whatever it may be, you're always going to have that. And that's always going to sabotage your success. So if you do not have tools and strategies and systems to overcome FOMO, you're going to go round in circles and scratch your head thinking, why am I not successful yet? Or maybe if I learn more about that, that will help. You're going to go round in circles. Guys and girls, like, I want to level with you and be straight here. It's your psychology that is holding you back. It's not your technicals. Your technicals can be learned to an extent and you can always improve. And I do believe in doing that. Most people undervalue that part of it and they think, well, if it's 90% psychology and 10% technicals, then I know enough technicals. No, you still need to know 100% of that 10%. You still need to be a highly skilled technical trader. However, your psychology just goes a lot deeper than that. There's so much more depth to that. Otherwise, you would just find the most intelligent people and they would be the best traders. Why aren't they? Because it's not about IQ. You know, it's not about that. It doesn't matter how smart you are, whether you're dyslexic or not. I'm dyslexic. Right? None of these things hold traders back. What holds traders back is their psychology, their lack of self-awareness, how they see themselves, how they view themselves, the goals that they set, their inner belief that it can be possible in the first place. So you have to look at it holistically to be able to fix it. So now you know, hopefully it's given you a really more of a deeper understanding as to where it comes from, and not something you can avoid or get rid of, but something you can manage. And that should give you a tremendous amount of confidence. Now what I want to get into, which I've already given you a couple of solutions with backtesting, that is at the root. You got to understand, FOMO comes from a lack of clarity. So what you have to do straight away, which you can do practically, start putting in the hours. Putting in the hours in the right way with intention. Don't just do hours for the sake of it. Intentionally start to learn and figure out, what am I trying to get out of this? What am I trying to get out of learning this? So intentionality, that's your first point of call. Now what I want to get into is a little bit of homework that is going to help you reduce that even further. Right guys, so before we get into the last part that I want to give you some homework that's going to be so beneficial for FOMO, make sure that you like, comment, and you are subscribed to the channel. You're always in the loop and you've been enjoying this series. And please, share this with other people. Psychology is such a big part. So if you know traders and you know they'll benefit from it, we'd really appreciate the support, and getting this video out there, it means a lot. So make sure that you do that. And to summarize, and also make sure you click the link in the description below if you want to learn more about Rewired and all these things that we're talking about. But what I want you to think about is this. What are the first points that we covered? Well, number one, backtesting. Remember, that comes from a lack of clarity, so you can go into that as practical you can do right now. Number two, what's the second point? Your trading mantras. That's going to be your tool in the moment when you feel a little bit of FOMO, because it can still happen on your way to succeeding, because life happens, things get in the way, and then, you know, we're humans, we have emotions. So what do you have? You have your trading mantras, which is anything that you want that's going to be positive to help you in that moment. And you can use the ones that I use, things like, there's always another great trade, there's always an abundance of opportunities, not one trade's going to make or break you, I accept the risk. Like, all these things, these affirmations in the moment, or your trading mantras, are here to serve you, so that in the moment that triggers an anchor in your mind to go, right, yes, like, let's take a breather here. I don't need to worry about this random one trade, because there's always going to be another great trade. You'd rather be in that abundance mindset than always thinking, oh, but that was the one that was going to make my month. And that's a pessimistic mindset. We want to shift away from that. So those are your two things. But the third thing, this is going to take a little bit more work, but it's going to help you a lot, which is the language journal. Now, let's get to the core of this very first. Average human, spoken about on this channel before, has around 70,000 thoughts per day, right? Give or take a few thousand. We know that the next day, 90% of those thoughts will be exactly the same, over 90%. So think about that. If your thoughts are exactly the same and you're dealing with things like FOMO and you're not aware of your language, well, what's the chances that you just go around in circles? Again, it goes back to a lack of self-awareness. So what I want you to do for the next 7 days, a challenge as well. And let me know in the comments if you have any other trading mantras, by the way. I would absolutely love to know them and your takeaways from this video overall. But what I want you to do for the next 7 days is actually keep a mental note. You can do this on a document, you can keep this in a good old-fashioned journal, which is I prefer and recommend over that, because it creates more neural pathways for you. But I want you to listen to yourself and start to be aware of your thoughts. What are the thoughts that you're having? Well, the next time you're on the charts and you start looking at a trade and you see, right, I'm looking at pound yen or euro sterling, and then you have some FOMO, actually write down why you had the FOMO. What was it? Was it something that happened that day? Was it something that happened in your life and that triggered something? Was it something there? And what you want to do is that you want to find a pattern in this language journal. You want to just write down as much, be as detailed as possible. So then you can go back in 7 days and you will be shocked. You will be surprised. You will be gobsmacked of how negative that we really are, our internal thought patterns. Because what we tend to do is that when we're looking at the charts, we'll kind of look at it and go, right, oh, what's happening with there? Oh, what's happened with the pound? And you see a spike. Oh, what happened there? What's happened? See, your mind's going 100 miles an hour. You're trying to think, what happened this? What happened that? What was that? Was that news? Was that a spike? Your mind's going 100 miles an hour. No wonder you're not clear, calm, and concise, because you're trying to control everything. And then you've got FOMO now, thinking, oh, that's moved. Should I get in now? You're not aware of these thoughts. So what I want you to do, the biggest thing, remember the back testing is going to deal with the root of it. It's because you've not done the repetition and the hours, right? And if you feel like, oh, I've done a lot of back testing, well, you've not done enough, right? Successful traders have probably done way more. So you have to keep on pushing with that. Next part, your mantras. That's going to be your in the moment, dealing with it, more of the instant side of it, is that, right, there's always going to be another great trade, to kind of not let that FOMO manifest. Then the real core of it is you being aware of it, which is your third point, the language journal. So just every day, just write down as much as possible. Go day 1, day 2, all the way to day 7. And at the end of it, I want you to reflect, share it come back to this video and share it into the comments section, what you actually found from like day 1. I would love to know, it'd be so curious. And I may even pick out some comments and then do another video on helping that out, or I'll just reply with some detailed in the comments as well. Just see what happens, and you'll probably find some common patterns that, right, when the market seems to move, or if I miss a trade, it tends to increase my FOMO a lot, and then I tend to take 2 or 3 really average trades that are not in my plan. Okay, why? So let's work backwards, then we can reverse engineer. But if you're not doing the work, if you can't just commit to writing things down for 7 days, how can you say you're committed to wanting to be a successful trader if you're not willing to just every day just document that for 7 days? It's for your own benefit. You know, it's not for me, it's not for anybody else, it's for you. It's for you to realize, right, I am the way I am, because no one's going to trade your capital for you, right? Only you're going to trade your capital. So it's up to you to build the mental framework and the self-awareness to realize, right, I am wired this way, and I realize now that 80% of my language is negative. And what's that going to do? Well, you've increased your chances of failing by 80%. And then what you can start to do is start to do some wordplay. You can start to change those words. And I'll likely do a separate video on this, on the energetic properties of particular words that helps you feel more successful. For example, if you say, right, if I say, how are you? And you say, I'm good. Or if I say, how are you? And you say, I'm great. There's a different energetic property to great versus good. Good is just average, mundane. Great has more of an energetic property to it. So you want to be aware, and we can go deep into this, but at the core of it, be aware of your language. Sometimes it's your language that's holding you back. So 3 simple things. You can start doing that right away, because number 1, you can backtest. Number 2, you get those trading mantras. You can start using them instantly when you feel that. And number 3, it's going to take a little bit more work, but it's going to benefit you the most, which is tracking that language just for 7 days. And what you might find is that, wow, I love this. And after 7 days, you actually carry it on. Good. If after 7 days you realize, wow, this is what I need to work on, well, then you've got your solution. You're not going around in circles for years, wondering why you're not successful, thinking that it's another strategy or your entry that's holding you back. Very rarely it's that. Most people can learn the technical strategy. It's the psychological part that holds them back. You can always improve those things, but psychology goes much deeper than that. Guys and girls, check the link in the description if you're serious about your trading goals. You want to make sure that you're wired for success, trading large capital. It's so important. You can't succeed without it. Your mindset needs to scale before your account scales, in that order. Guys and girls, enjoy your weekend. Let me know your number 1 takeaway. Share this video. Make sure that you like, your comment, and you are subscribed to the channel. You're in the loop for this series. More importantly, we're going to be bringing them out on a regular basis and keep this ongoing. This is the hub for you to come back and really learn about your psychology and have actually practical things. This is not just nice to hear, it's something you can do. So go and implement it. If you're serious, go and implement it. Let me know in the comments. I would love to know how this has actually impacted your trading. Have an incredible weekend, and I will catch you in the next episode, guys. Take care, everyone.